In this video, I want to cover a new feature we added with the Evergreen Instance Analyzer version 2.1, and it's called Teamspaces. So first place, it's going to start as activated if you install version 2.1, but I'll show you in kind of an off state. So if you go to the settings environment, you'll see there's a new setting on here that says use Teamspace features. So if I have this turned on, as it'll be in the default settings, what you will see on the home page of our review workspace is a new option out here for My Teamspaces. And the intent here, as I'll go through this, is to be able to say I'm going to highlight a couple developers. I want to monitor the work they're doing, see the findings and issues that technical best practices finds with the code and development that's happening there, but be able to manage it in kind of a subset of individuals or developers. So the process is pretty simple. I can start the new Teamspace. I can give it a name. And the age is really going to say how far back do I want to go looking at existing developed code to grab a history or trends of information for the individuals. So I can say, if I use -1, that's going to be everything. So if I do 7 days, it's just going to be the last 7 days information. If there's any rules I want to ignore from this process, I can define that here too. I can also target to reach into another target instance and actually scan developers there as well. But in this case, I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to choose Chad. Choose a couple other developers as well. And then I'll create my Teamspace. So at this point, it's still kind of a draft. I can still make some adjustments to this before I activate, but as soon as I activate it, what's going to do is it's going to go reach into our environment or connect to that target instance if that's defined, and go grab all the developed code for those developers over that time period and scan it, test it for findings and issues, and then provide some daily statistics based off of that as well. And see, now it's done. It's basically going to compile some daily statistics over the last 7 days of different development activities, how long logged in through sessions, as well as whether there's any findings. Now, just as far as it go forward, right? So this becomes an auto refreshing kind of tool. I'll show you some of the scheduled jobs in a second. But just to give you an example, right? I can go in as one of these developers, like Chad. Maybe Chad goes out and creates a new script include, and creates a function within that script include. It just does a little log out activity. Simple development here. Saves that record. And maybe also goes and creates a new business rule, runs on insert, and just logs out some information. Right, now just the presence of creating these different records, right? If I go back into the Teamspace, just click over the overview, it's going to refresh the data. And notice that now those two scripts that were just written, the script include and the business rule, now are showing up as findings because there's different things about those development items that are being documented as an issue or a finding that need to be captured. Now further, as an individual, right, as another developer right here, I can go into one of these scripts, like maybe go into this script include here, maybe add my own function to it. Maybe this one's doing a function that's not allowed, like the eval function. And I save this. As you may expect, as I go back to the overview page, it's going to now show there's also another finding on this record now too, also related to kind of in-progress update sets for the same, in that there's multiple update sets for the same item out here. The Chad has his own update set, I had my own. Right, further, if I were to go into this record and look at kind of the detail, you'll see this kind of on the screen alert as well, those same existing findings. And also whether or not this is being managed at two different update sets that I need to be concerned about, which you kind of see down below as well, that there's still two in-progress development items happening on the same item. So it becomes kind of a place just to monitor these individual developers, their activities, their trends, and be able to manage to those findings and issues and see some of those daily trends. Now I mentioned you can also set one up to go against a remote or target instance. The process is basically the same. Just to show you kind of one of these I've already set up to go against one of my other target instances. In this case, I've got my Evergreen demo instance we're connecting to, just me as the developer, but basically it's going out and pulling the same information, my statistics, my daily activities from those target environments, and any findings or details or issues that are found with it also could get covered in this activity as well. One last thing just to highlight, so once you set up a Teamspace, there are scheduled jobs that will run on a nightly basis. So if you want to change kind of the frequency of this or want to disable the nightly run or run it less frequently, you'll see there's a job out here called update Teamspace data that runs daily, currently scheduled at 11 p.m. at night. And you will see it does log information inside the application log whenever it runs. That's to kind of keep track that it executed new Teamspace updates for those individual Teamspaces. Now, we'll mention a lot of the statistics rely on the Teamspace do capture kind of a daily trend. It tries to get things like session data for that day, so it is recommended to run this on a daily basis to get correct statistics. Hope this is helpful, and hope you find this feature useful in your use of our Evergreen Instance Analyzer. Thank you.